Hello, gentlemen. I hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a little while since we have been able to sit down as a group and have a meeting, so I thought you might be missing my face. So I decided to send out a video kind of addressing some of the topics that we usually talk about. First thing I wanted to talk about is the install office door. I know it's been closed for the past week or so, and by no means are we trying to create a sense of separation at all. It's more kind of just keeping unnecessary people out of the office to help prevent the spread of COVID-19 if we were to have a case within our department. And it's also keeping unnecessary traffic out from the remainder of the office. We get a lot of people pop in and out, and we're just trying to keep that to a minimum. Also, we are heavily interviewing our summer runners, looking for them to get started early to mid-May to get them brought on board and up to speed as quick as possible. I had a couple questions. We are anticipating picking up 2 more F-150s to help with deliveries as well. So nothing's finalized on that, but we are starting that transition as well. I know last week Chris had sent out an email about the $100 a week bonus for working during these times. COVID had a question or two pop up about that. Basically, if you are able and willing to work, you're going to receive that bonus regardless if our install schedule demands that. So if you're sitting at home due to no work, you are still going to be eligible for that $100 bonus. And again, look for that coming in May. And I understand regarding the pictures. We're 2 meetings behind, so by the end of the week, I will be sending out two voting links for the past 2 meetings, and I will have the cash for those winners, and we'll get that handled as quickly as possible. Everyone should have received the January bonus email that has been approved to be paid out on your May 1st paycheck. I know for the newer guys, if you guys weren't here in January or started late, you're not in that pool. But look forward to that in the upcoming months as we qualify for that. So that being said, wanted to kind of make some highlights of the February results. As a department, we ended it at a 4.7% net, which unfortunately does not qualify us for the bonus. But on the positive side, we did have a slight reduction in our callbacks this February compared to last February. So last February, we were at 10.4%. This February, we were at 9.8%. So that's a year-over-year trend in the right direction, and look forward to that continuing. We had a couple days that got a little warm on us, so I didn't want to forget about that attic spreadsheet that's on the Google Sheets. So I've got that built, and we'll start tracking that in the upcoming week or so, just to make sure that we're trying to keep the attic work spread as evenly as possible, and not one person is working in more attics than another. So that brings us to safety. Safety is something that we all should not take lightly. And we had a very, very serious incident here at the office involving the forklift. If anybody's not aware, basically we had the forklift kind of roll backwards down that hill going down to Metro behind us, tip over, and it had basically fractured one of our employees' pelvic bone in 3 different spots. He did have to have surgery. The surgery went well, and he's looking to make a full recovery. But it was definitely scary, and it's not to be taken lightly. So we can't forget about that. Something else that happened within our department, and I'm sure we've all experienced it, and that was we had another decent refrigerant burn. it blistered up pretty good. Fortunately, it didn't need any medical attention. That we were able to handle it in house with general first aid and everything. But guys, you got to be careful when disconnecting gauges. That's primarily when these burns are going to happen. He was wearing his gloves, but it froze his gloves, which basically reduces dexterity, so he couldn't get the gauge off the port quick enough. So just wanted to touch on those, but the main topic for April is kind of electrical awareness. In specific, I wanted to touch on GFCIs. All install trucks should have a GFCI on them for plugging in our equipment, whether it's a hammer drill, a vacuum pump, and that is to protect you guys. For those of you guys here a couple years ago, you remember a story we shared. There was a young kid, 19 years old, working for Viviano over in Collinsville. He went out from the attic work to check on the vacuum pump, and when he touched it, he was electrocuted and killed. Again, that's not to be taken lightly. It should be a device that anytime we're plugging in a piece of our equipment, that we're using that just to keep us safe. It doesn't take any extra time because making that type of phone call is honestly in my nightmares. I don't want to have to do it. I don't want any employee working on a job site when that happens to have that conversation, and it's easily avoidable. So please make sure you're using your GFCIs on your job sites. Keep you working safe. Also, on your electrical meters, make sure that they are 600 volt rated. Majority of your guys' are. I know we did a check a few years back for you new guys that either don't have one or are using existing ones that you have had. Make sure that they're 600 volt rated. We've had a couple cases in the past where electrical meters have exploded because they're not rated for some of the stuff that we're working on. So make sure, if you could, double check on the rating of your electrical meter. If you have any questions, get in contact with me and I'll help you get it figured out. Trying to keep this short and sweet. I know sitting here listening to me talk is probably a little boring, so I'll get it wrapped up. I know as we navigate through this COVID stuff, it's pretty much uprooting everything that we kind of stand for as far as customer interaction, making sure they're taken care of. And I really appreciate you guys being so adaptable and working through this. I see ourselves very fortunate with the amount of work that we're still being able to get done during this. So I really do. I really appreciate the hard work, guys. If you have any questions over anything, as always, I'm just a phone call, email away, just as accessible as I have been in the past. So appreciate it, guys.